What's up, everybody? Remember, if you like the videos, like, subscribe, comment, share, support the channel so I can get a new webcam finally. I'm going to talk about a sort of niche topic that I haven't talked about ad nauseum actually on my channel. And that's about why staggers are not always bad for video games and the kind of feeling that you get not only when you play the character that you like, but the feeling that the opponent's character gives you, right? And I was thinking about this because of, this is actually kind of a Guilty Gear video, right? Because when I was looking at the Asuka, that man character, I was thinking that, he's cool, but he's interesting from a perspective of that, you know, to me, when I look at him, he seems interesting more so for the player, the person playing him to play, right? You know what I mean? I'm sure, how complicated will he actually be at the end of the day? Who knows? Because again, a lot of times when you actually play characters that maybe have complicated stuff, maybe when you actually end up then playing them, a lot of the more simple stuff ends up being more effective. And there's kind of like a straight kind of game plan to go to if you were to even use, say, just because I've made some Alpha 1 videos recently. If you recall, I made that one. It's actually probably one of my favorite videos ever. I made that Alpha 1 video where I showed off a lot of fucking really crazy setups and buggy setups you can do in that game with Guy. But when you actually play that game, although you can do a lot of this crazy stuff in the context of actually playing the game, only a few of the more crazy setups are actually more so useful just because of you can just it's so much easier to do more damage here. The guys generally die so fast, you know what I mean? So a lot of the stuff, although you can do a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of the crazy stuff is only slightly used, right? So I mean, that's what I'm getting at when I was talking about that man, that maybe he's just going to have specific setups like, oh, I can do all these different kind of things, but you know what? That's actually the best thing, generally speaking, right? Again, he could be complicated. I don't know. We'll see at the end of the day. But when I was looking at him, I was like, he seems interesting more so for the person playing him. And I was kind of let down when I look at him and I'm like, man, you could have given him some like elemental effects. You know what I mean? You know that and this is specifically why I'm making this video. You know that there's things like staggers. There's still that purple combo, right? In Strive, right? You know what I mean? So you could have like, oh, maybe if they hit the water move, it causes an ice effect like Blaz Blue's Jin move, and then the guy's got to stagger out of it. So the opponent feels like they're really affected by it. Or you already have this shock state thing with Kai. Make the lightning thing do a shock state. Now I know you can hit his fireballs or his rubber balls blocks, like I was saying, which kind of gives a feeling of playing the opponent actually playing your character. And of course, again, we're always in a fighting game playing the opponent's character. Even if you think about, back in Street Fighter 2, if we're getting really deep into it, sometimes you think like, I'm counting how long this Guile can charge. Will Guile be able to charge against me right now? Blah, 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 right? So if we get really deep, of course, we're kind of always maybe in a sense thinking what the opponent can do. But when I was thinking of that man, again, more so specifically, I was just thinking, man, he really seems more interesting for the person playing him than the opponent versus him, which it seems like a dropped ball to me because, man, if he was causing all these effects on the opposing player, it makes the opposing player feel him more, right? I know this is kind of like a very niche kind of topic, right? And when I was thinking about staggers, and I used the stagger comment because I've talked about it in, again, only a few videos, but think about what happens when you try to mash out of something, right? And I've used this example for Soul in Plus R, right? Like, I'm not like super horny about moves that stagger or whatever, but it does give the opposing player a sense of feeling against the person making them stagger, right? And I've used the Soul example in Plus R because I hate, I hate Plus R Soul. I don't like the Mugen moves. I think they're really fucking boring. It looks stupid like his Fafnir, he's doing a big punch. And instead of like punching you across the screen now, it just staggers you. It looks weird to me. It doesn't feel good, so to speak. But there is something, if I was to take a glasses half full approach to it, as my computer is freezing for some reason, when you get hit by that stagger, it adds that sense of panic, right, against Soul, and you're like mashing, right? And then if you think about Soul's archetype, right? Like Soul's this character, like, oh, he's bullying you. He's running up. Is he going to RC DP to a DP, whatever it might be, or RC to throw, whatever it might be. There's that kind of spazzy, bully, random factor to the character, let's say, right? You know, and you're on edge while playing him. Does that make sense? And so to give him a move that then also makes you, the player versing Soul, have to mash on your stick, that's adding to the sense of panic against the character, so to speak, right? It's making him as you. It's making you feel him, right? I know this is a very kind of niche topic, how you feel, right? Do you get what I'm saying? I don't particularly get horny about stagger moves. You know what I mean? I know some people hate stagger moves. Some people don't even like moves that dizzy. They think you should never get dizzy, right? But in this specific kind of context, you can see, I think this is one of the clear cut examples where you can see that you feel what the opponent is doing. The opponent feels what you're doing and vice versa, like very keenly, I think, right? And so, in that perspective, game design wise, although I think Plus R Soul is generally boring as fuck, Mugen moves, stupid EX Sidewinder, the Fafnir looks stupid that it staggers you. But the idea of having a stagger move for Soul in the context of the character is actually kind of interesting, right? And that's why I was saying for that man, I think it's kind of a drop ball because when I look at him, and yeah, I know you can hit the rubber balls or his rubber fucking, I hate the fucking special effects. It looks like you're getting hit by these huge magical spells and it just feels like you're getting hit by like a rubber ball. It's kind of like the oomph isn't there, you know what I mean? And I guess you can hit the rubber balls, which I guess gives you a feeling of playing versus him, but it still feels like a dropped ball to me. Not having all these elemental effects, like not only is the person causing the elemental effects on you, so they're having fun counting their cards and their spells, but I feel like it's a drop ball in terms of you feeling like you're being a status effect is on you, so to speak, whatever, you know what I mean? Oh, fuck, I got hit by the ice ball. I got to start mashing, right? Again, a very kind of niche topic, I guess, right? But the feeling in games, I don't know. Maybe you get what I'm getting at. Hey, remember if you like the videos, like, subscribe, comment, share, support the channel if you want. I appreciate it. Thanks. The end.